What's going on, everybody? We have another e-bike. I am trying to find the most usable e-bike that can fit into a compact car, in my case, a compact hot hatch, that I can take to the track with me for around this size. In this case, 14-inch wheels that can compact fold to about 2 by 2 feet, roughly. So this is the Onebot 36-volt, small 5 amp-hour e-bike that is full suspension and pretty light. So I'm going to test this one out because typically when I'm at the track, I'll go 10 to 20 miles worth of walking. Instead, I'd like to use something that's more compact that I can travel around the track. Let's take a look at the Onebot and let's open it up. Really quick, what I'm going to show is what I paid for this one. You can get these bikes for a very low cost, and I will attach what I paid here. Okay. It's mashed all together, as you can see. The shipping isn't too bad. Shipping on a couple of the other e-bikes were terrible. But what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to flip this over and just dump it all out. Okay, here's the upside down jumbled mess of the Onebot. So let me flip this back over. Okay, let's take it apart and see how it looks. And there it is. We're fully built. That is 36 volt, the Onebot S7F. And I want to do some checking on it first, just to make sure we're all looking good. So it's pretty simple right now, but it looks full. And it's got a twist throttle, which I'm always a huge fan of. And it feels pretty powerful for what it is. So there it goes. Wow. Yeah, it's actually not bad. Yeah, it does not appear to have a lot of options on this e-bike. It's very stripped down, very simple. No bells and whistles on it like the other e-bike. But I have to be honest with you, this one looks really cool. And now we are going to get the true portability test to see how big this thing actually is folded up. So in order to fold this, you would take this, push this down, or take the handlebars off. But in this case, we're just going to put it down because we don't want to be stripping this whole thing apart. We're going to be taking the handlebars and folding them down. And then we're going to be taking this and we're going to be unstrapping that. We're going to be folding this in. Another thing we can do in order to compact this up a little bit, which is the recommended method, is take the seat off. And now, there it is folded up. That is really small. So let's see how big this actually is. Looking at approximately 2 feet high, approximately 28 inches long, but it looks to be about 24 inches wide. And that's actually overstating it. It's probably more like 20 inches wide. So 20 inches wide, 24 inches tall, and 30 inches long. That's your folded up dimensions. The Onebot S7F. There it is. Let's get it out. Let's try it out. All right, we have the Onebot 350 watt, 36 volt bike. First things first, as I mentioned, there's this 36 volt 350 watt motor, which is really small, and 36 volts means it's not as powerful as a 48 volt 350 watt motor, which means there's a lot less torque and there's a lot less power to this. This is less of a scooter and more of like a little bit of an assist when it comes to a bicycle. Being 14-inch tires, this makes it very difficult to pedal. So there's some positives and negatives already. So let's start moving with it. So the positive I like about this bike so far is the fact that, I'll point the video down a little bit, is the fact that it is easy to pedal. So just for wheelie purposes, I'll show you a little bit. So really easy to get up in the air like that. This is me pedaling around. A few things to notice right here. If we turn this on, now you see the bars are at full, or they will level out at full. And it does have a PAS sensor, which means if you start pedaling, here it goes, you can hear it. So the motor kicks off pretty good, and it goes one speed. Whether you like it or not, it's one speed. and it does have a bypass sensor, so when you hit the brakes, the motor does cut, which is nice. The problem with this being 36 volt is going up steep hills, so you can't use the throttle up hills. On flat, this thing works great. You can see right here, this is a relatively flat parking lot. This thing works absolutely great. It has disc brakes front and rear, which is really good. A problem that I see as well is the build quality. Is look at the rim. That could just be the tire being off balance, but it does appear the rim is slightly off balance as well. A positive on this is the fact that it's got front shocks, which you can see right there working. If you can see that, they work. There's probably about 2 inches of travel, but it works fine. As for the rear shock, it is possibly one of the worst rear shocks you can have. However, it does dampen some, and the seat is surprisingly good for a small amount of foam on the seat. So now what we're gonna do, now that we've kind of gone around with it a little bit and we wheelied with it like that, but anyways, got a little bell here. No horn like the other one, but there's a bell. Okay, now that we're in full battery, we're gonna test top speed on a relatively flat area, which is the reason why I'm here. There you go, just that only, with only the throttle. So let's try that out. So we got our handy dandy speedometer here. And here was the skateboard. We're going to discard that and we're going to play, which means this is going to start moving, and there we go. See the mile an hour go. So we're going to simply just use the throttle. Okay, here we go. Throttle only. Put that up. We're going down a slight hill, but it's not big enough to really matter. And I believe right now we're at top speed. So again, this is 36 volt, 350 watt. It's not nearly as powerful as the other bike. The other bike hit 19 on a slight uphill like this right here, but we did not go downhill with it. The other bike will probably hit about 25 miles an hour or so. So we're gonna turn around right here. We're gonna go again. Here's your bent pedals. You can see them bent sort of out like that. They're not in the greatest shape. And here we go. We are at full speed again. This is a very quiet bike. It's got a slight hum when you're in low speeds, which is totally fine. Nothing wrong with that. Just typical e-bike. Another thing is when you're at top speed, the pedaling, it does nothing. So here I'm pedaling, but if I let go of the pedal, and we're going up a very, very small hill here. If I let go of the pedal, you can see I'm going probably 3-4 miles an hour, just over walking speed here. So this motor isn't enough to go up hills. We're going to check the top speed now. So let's get off the bike. 18 miles an hour. So there it is. So 18 miles an hour, and I think this is about a 15 mile an hour bike on the flat. This one is a short distance bike, 10 miles at the absolute maximum. I wouldn't really push it more than that. Otherwise, you're going to be pedaling this single speed bike. This is great for a track. This is for short distances, 10 to 12 miles. I would not put this in the same ballpark as the other ones. I would give this bike a 3.5 stars out of 5, even for the $200 price tag roughly that you're going to be paying for this, if you do it the right way. If you're buying this for $500, I cannot recommend it. If you're buying it for $200, it's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. It all depends on what you want to do with a bike. If it's going to be short distance driving or something like that. Quality control is okay, and the bike itself is okay. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for sticking around, and let me know if you want me to review anything else, and let me know if you have one of these bikes. Let me know what your positive and negatives are of it, and we'll see you in the next one. See you later.